How you guys doing, man? Um, Hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing great. How are my gens doing? So, I was not going to do a video today because I've finished doing a ritual and it was very heavy. It was a very heavy ritual, so I'm extenuated. Extenuated. I'm exhausted. Um, Drained a lot of my energy. So, anyways, because we out here pushing back these people. Hold on, let me see if I look good full Dark Vader mode here. Let me see what happens. Let me see if that sounds right. That looks right. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that. Hold up. Wait a minute. All right, I like it. So, anyways, well, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Um, so, anyways, man, I guess I came in. I got to be careful right now because my enemies are already tired. They have a tired energy right now, so they're not at full strength. But that tired energy is not gonna last that long, right? It's gonna last a couple weeks or something. So after those couple of weeks, they're gonna come back strong again. They're gonna start doing witchcraft. They're gonna start doing witchcraft. They're gonna start doing spells and curses and stuff. But right now, I'm good because they're tired. So I can't run them out. So we gotta wail on them. We gotta wail on them right now. The only thing is, I know they're gonna bounce back. I know they're gonna bounce back sooner or later. But anyway, maybe not too. Maybe not too. But I've noticed that my enemies are tired right now. Like my enemies are not. They're not on their A game. They're not on their A game. I don't feel like they're on their A game right now, bro. Like I feel like from where I'm standing, I feel like I'm more on my A game than they are. I don't feel like they're on their A game right now, bro. Like it's very. I don't like it. It's too easy. It's like a trap or something. It's too easy, bro. Like it's. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling, man. When something's too easy, man. You know what I mean, bro? Like something suspect, something fishy going on, man. Um, hey, you see now. Let me. I'm gonna try to do my best Dolo impression right now. So, so uh, uh, so when you enter a certain dimension, we don't over here we don't really care about gematria. All right, gematria numerology, that's bullshit. Okay, there's no power there. Okay, no one cares about gematria. All right, it's fun to find the meaning of words and names and things. I can't do it. Fuck it. I can't do it, man. Fuck it. Okay. We don't care about geometry here, man. Like, but the thing is, the funny part is the funny thing, the funny thing, the funny part is, why are you talking about the number 15? Why are you talking about Lilith? Now, the thing, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on over there, man. I don't know what these fucking people are tripping about right now, man. Why are you talking about these things? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have no idea. I mean, like, this guy, he's sitting there talking about, like, people's relationships that they have with their close ones and stuff. Okay, I'll be the first one to admit it, man. A lot of people's relationships are not real. You know, people like me, people that are like me, and there's a lot of you out there, your relationship are not real. And it sucks because you think they are. I mean, it sucks for me and it sucks for yourself too. Because you think that those relationships are real. You think that those people are the people that you're supposed to be with. And that's not the case. And you have to do spiritual work. You don't have to do spiritual work. Let me backtrack this, man. I don't want to put more work on your shoulders, because you might not understand what that means when I say spiritual work. Because when I say spiritual work, to me, it means something else. You know what I mean? It's like when you're doing voodoo. I learned the term spiritual work from voodoo. That's where I learned that shit. I learned it from voodoo. What that means is when you're doing work in voodoo, that means you're doing magic, right? Or you're learning magic. They call that work, right? So now I always use that term, spiritual work. And I understand that some people might think, oh, they have to meditate more. No. You have to, what you need to do when you're doing spiritual work, you have to let it in. You have to let whatever you're seeing and whatever is happening, you have to let it in. You have to not ignore it, but to try to understand it. And when you try to understand it, you know, when you try to understand it, that's spiritual work right there. You know what I mean? So you got to try to understand it. You got to let it in. You got to let it seep in. You know, you got to do your spiritual work. So I feel like, so that's where it's like, he's saying these things, he's talking about people and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. But you're not really explaining. I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I feel like he's not really explaining what that means. You know what I mean? He's just like insulting your life, insulting your intelligence and stuff like that, which is fine by me. I don't really care. But me, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you what's up. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. What's going on is you need to understand more of what's really going on with your life. And when you're like me, I don't know about everybody else. People that live in a 3D world, people that was chosen to live in a 3D world, I don't think they have that problem. They have a common objective. They have a common point of view. So I don't think that happens to these people. But when you are a highly evolved individual, you fall out of that world. You start falling out of the 3D. So everybody that lives in the 3D has a different perception, a different point of view, a different way of doing things, right? And you think you're doing these things the same way you're doing that these people are doing those things. So it's like, if I'm cooking some eggs, I'm not cooking eggs the same way somebody else is. Like, if you put me next to a 3D person, yeah, that's an inside joke right there. But anyway, if you put me next to a 3D person, right, and the 3D person is cooking eggs, it's not the same as me cooking eggs. When I cook eggs, it's special. Everything I do is special because it comes from a different dimension. Those eggs are not regular eggs. Those eggs are eggs that come from a different dimension. So that's what gets everybody. That's why when you make yourself a sandwich or you make yourself food, which is a normal thing to do, people start acting weird around you because of the food you made. Because they are aware that you are an extra dimensional entity that is now living in their reality, cooking food from a different dimension. So it's like looking at an alien smoking a joint, right? So shit is just different. It's just weird that way. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people that are like me can't really see that. They don't really see it because in their minds, it's just eggs. In their minds, it's just this, it's just that. But it's never really just that. And I do feel like in some shape or form, they already know that. In some shape or form, they already know that they're not just doing something. I feel like they already know that, but they don't understand. So what happened was the problem that you need to solve at this present moment is not deciphering what Doelow's saying. The problem that you need to understand right now is that you need to find a way to live inside of your dimension. You need to find a way to live inside of your dimension, which, like I said before, it's not easy to do. As I've said before. And it's even worse because you're a god. It's even worse because you're a god. I'm very tired right now. Y'all need to forgive me. I'm very tired right now. So anyway, you have to find a way to live within your dimension, right? And it's even more unfair for people that are like me, because you are not only supposed to live in your dimension, you got to create that dimension. So you got 2 jobs to do. But the thing is, it's not that hard and it's not that easy. It's not that easy, but it's not that hard, because you are creating this dimension with your mind. You are creating this dimension with the way you speak. So for as long as you keep in your mind that you are the creator of your reality, and for as long as you understand and propagate that you are not an entity from this world, which everybody already knows except you, then you will still hang around people that are not real, but that you think are real. You see, the way that I'm saying it right now, I feel like it's better than the way that Doelow says it. Because Doelow's going to say, you know, you're flunked out and your baby girl is cheating on you and somebody else is pregnant and, you know, you're going to go to jail and stuff like that, which are things that seem to be happening to people that might or might not be like me. We call those things everyday things. The MERS, right? The everyday murders. So I feel like if you are like me and you are living hardships and you are going through situations, I feel it's because you are creating those situations. And you create those situations by keeping the idea in your mind that whatever you are seeing is real. Everything is an illusion. This is a thing that most of us know in this community. But yet, we remain inside the illusion. So we don't really know how much of an illusion it is. And we don't know how much of an illusion it is. Because even I had a lot of time. I was, the fourth dimension came down on me like a ton of bricks. And at first I didn't want to believe it. At first I thought it was just a random voice in my head. And then I became friends with the random voice in my head and I gave him more space. And I started to live with the voice in my head. So I was in another dimension. Some mind-blowing shit. I was in another dimension. I let that dimension exist. I accepted that dimension existed. I accepted the fourth dimension. Right? That was the third thing to have happen. So in the fourth dimension, a lot of bad shit happens. A lot of weird shit. A lot of traumatic events happen in the fourth dimension. And then I got mad again. I was mad at the fourth dimension. Because at the time, even though I was living in another dimension and I was kind of aware that I was in another dimension, I didn't really know that it was the fourth dimension. I thought I was just a guy that was cursed walking around, being cursed. And later on along the lines, I started to learn little by little what the fourth dimension is. Because at first I thought everybody just hated me. I thought everybody just hated me and that was the end of the story. But then I came out of myself. I stopped being isolated. I stopped isolating myself. I stopped isolating myself, but at the same time I was isolating myself. So what I was doing was I was isolating myself from my illusion 3D life. So everybody that was in the 3D world, everybody that came from the 3D world, I would isolate myself from them. But I would do things in order to attract people from a different dimension. And those people from a different dimension were people that were going to help me in my success, people that was going to help me in being more of myself, people that would help me achieve or create whatever I want to create. And I'm still in that process kind of right now. This is the reason why I'm on. No, not really. That's not the reason why I'm on YouTube. That's bullshit. So anyways, whatever. I was just trying to find something to say. But that process isn't over even when you realize that you're in the fourth dimension and that the 3D illusion is something that's what you need to isolate yourself from because the 4D is connected to the 3D, but it's not connected to the 5D. So whatever happens in 3D happens in 4D. But in 4D, everything that happens usually, or that is considered normal, on the 3D realm is altered and warped by the power of quantum, time-space continuum, the astral plane. It's like living in the astral plane. It's like living in cosmic entities. You're living in cosmic entity world, right? But all of these things, all of these people are not the real people that live in the 3D, and they're not the real people that live on the cosmic planes or the astral planes. They are carbon copies. They are a representation of these things. They are a shadow of these things. So what you're seeing in the fourth dimension is a shadow of everything. It's a shadow because there's no time and space does not make any sense in the 3D. Old is young, young is old. You know, everything don't add up. Nothing makes sense, right? And they're just shadows, right? So what you need to understand is that the fourth dimension, when your spirit, when the world decides to send you in the fourth dimension, is because the world thinks that you're ready for the next step of evolution. But the world is not going to teach you like your mom would, right? The world is not going to teach you like your dad or your mom would, right? It's not going to flatter your ego. It's going to destroy your ego, and then you're going to have to make your own ego. It's going to completely destroy you, and you're going to have to build yourself back up, which is a very dangerous process, if you ask me, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's a very dangerous process because I don't think everyone will be capable of doing it. You know, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Or if it was easy, everybody would be living on a fifth dimensional standpoint and not a three-dimensional standpoint. You see, the fourth dimension is not really necessary. It's necessary today because along the lines, we believed in the 3D too much. And the world took it upon itself to say, look, bruh, like, there's too much things that you are not aware of. There's a reality that you are not aware of. And I'm not saying it's your fault. This was a group effort. You know what I mean? You've been lied to, and also you yourself have believed the lies for a long time. So right now the earth is showing us that, yo, there's something else going on here. There's another world going on here. There's another layer. And there's many different layers too. There's another layer. You need to switch up. So the best way of doing that is to throw you in the middle of the most fucked up, weird shit that it can possibly imagine, which is the fourth dimension. And if you make it out of the fourth dimension, then you're not going to have any problems in the fifth dimension. Which is another thing that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. Because a lot of people think that they're not good enough to be in the fifth dimension, so they decide to go back to the third dimension, but you can't go back to the third dimension because your brain is already unlocked. You're already out the matrix. So what happens is the more they try to go back to the 3D, the more they end up in the 4D. And like I said, that's dangerous That's the place where your baby mama's gonna cheat on you. That's the place where you're gonna end up in jail. That's the place where all that shit happens. It's not supposed to happen, but you make it happen. You make those things happen because in actuality, you're capable of making your own paradise. You're capable of creating your own Garden of Eden. It's just that you need to learn how you can do that. And a lot of people are not learning how to do that. A lot of people are listening to Dolo the Pilot instead. A lot of people are listening to Almera instead. A lot of people are listening to like religious mumbo jumbo instead. And in actuality, everybody needs to stop listening to religious mumbo jumbo. A bunch of people need to stop listening to fake weirdos, fake prophets on YouTube. And what they need to do is to harness their fourth dimensional energy and properties in order to become stronger so they can create their life in the fifth dimension. That's what's going on. I don't know when people are going to decide to enter that world and do what they need to do and whatnot. I don't know. Might be soon, might be never. Who knows? I have no clue. But let me tell you. When you harness that power, you can have anything that you wish for. You can create anything that you wish, you know, and you're an unstoppable monster. You know, you are a unstoppable monster. You are a manifesting tank. You know what I mean? Like, you can just do whatever you want. The world is your oyster. The world is yours, like Scarface. Everybody thought Scarface was a gangster movie. Scarface is a movie about five-dimensional living. Tony Montana was a five-dimensional being. You got to look at the subtleties in Scarface if you love that movie. There's a scene where he gets held up and there's a woman sitting on the bed and he gives a look at the woman that's on the bed and she says, I don't know. Like Tony was saying, like, really? Are you serious? You can't kill me. I'm Tony Montana. What the fuck? I'm the hero of this game. But then you could also say, well, his friend or cousin got, you know, chainsawed in the bathroom. It's not important. He was a 3D person anyway. Tony Montana got strong because the whole movie, he never told nobody what he knew. That's why he became the kingpin, because nobody really knows. Nobody knows Tony Montana. You know what I mean? And nobody knows who that guy is. He's not important. Technically, in the 3D world, he's not important because in the 3D world, everybody knows everybody. He comes out of nowhere. He comes from another dimension. He comes from another plane of existence, Cuba. He arrives in the 3D fashion world, America, quote unquote. And then he just decides to take over. The world is yours. And you see that in the movie. The world is yours. The billboard wasn't talking to Tony Montana. The billboard was talking to you. That billboard was for you. It wasn't for the guy in the movie. The billboard was made for you. The guy in the movie put the billboard there to speak to the audience. This movie was not against the movie. It was a movie about magic. It was a movie about manifestation. And they do that shit all the time. They hide the truth in plain sight. It's very psychological. A lot of things are psychological. It's not because it's a movie full of violence that it doesn't have anything to say. It doesn't have anything to say. There's some movies that are just violence for the sake of violence. But, you know, the Scarface story was more than that. He knew something that everybody else didn't. And now today, you know something that everybody else don't. Now you're asking yourself, well, why don't I do like Tony Montana, keep all my knowledge to myself, yada, 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 blah, blah, because that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. I've been put in place in order to help progress humanity, whether I like it or not. That's my job. My job is to create Tony Montana. My job is not to be Tony Montana. Even though in essence, I'm still going to end up being Tony Montana, but it's only going to be through the process that I'm using right now because I got a job. And my job is to bring you up to the 5th dimension. And my job is also to be part of the 5th dimension. Because right now, like I told you before, I'm trying to find my family. When I say I'm trying to find my family, when I say that I have a family or I'm trying to find my family, I'm not talking about my, biological brother and sister. No, I'm speaking of my soul group, as they would say, I'm looking for my pantheon, right? I'm looking for those people. Because those people are going to be the people that I can actually interact with. Those people are going to be the people that will actually accept me for who I am. And I will accept them for who they are. Those people will not have a problem with me, and I'm not going to have a problem with them. Why? Not because I think they're perfect, not because I think they're great. It's just like that. Those are the people I am meant to be with. But God is not gonna take your hand and bring you to those people. The proof is in the pudding. When Moses was trying to find the promised land, he threw these MFers in the desert for I don't know how long. God is not going to bring you to the promised land. You're going to need to bring yourself to the promised land. And the problem right now is that a lot of people think that God is going to bring them to the promised land, so they don't listen to people like me telling them the truth. And they are scared of people like me telling them the truth. They are scared of these truths because they don't want to be thinking like that their dad doesn't want to bring them to the promised land. They don't want to take that shit. They don't want to be thinking like, because they want to feel like somebody's there helping them and pushing them, and that this person has their best interest at heart, which is not true. He does not have your best interest at heart. He has his own best interest at heart. You are not here to be Tony Montana. You are here to be a slave. That's how God sees you. God sees you as a compliant little dog. If you go see God and you tell him, I want to be Tony Montana, he's going to say, shut your ass up. You know what I mean? You can't ask God, I want to be Tony Montana. You can't do that. You can't do that. No, you have to do it yourself. You have to do it yourself. You have to create that yourself. There's a lot of confusion going on right now because you have God power, you have light power, you have dark power, right? Dark power to me is like you do what you want to do. Light power is like, give me everything and I'll give you something back in return. Light power to me is a business. Light power to me is a Ponzi scheme. There's a guy at the top of the pyramid and everybody works for the guy that's on the top of the pyramid. Darkness doesn't work like that. Darkness, it's a binary business, right? Darkness is a binary business. Everybody's on their own plane of existence and they all have the right to do whatever the fuck they want. And if they want to have a bunch of people following them and shit, like if they want to create, I won't call that a Ponzi scheme. If they want to have their own family, they can choose to have their own family and do their own things on their side of the world. You know what I mean? That's what darkness represents to me. And it's only darkness because now you have to hide yourself from the light. Why do you need to hide yourself from the light? Well, it's not really hiding. It's just that for as long as you operate in a light power action base status role, whatever, you will still have to comply to some rules that you don't really need to comply to. God did not create you, you created yourself. God did not create you, you created yourself. You are ultimate consciousness. I am ultimate consciousness. God did not create me, I created myself. I didn't choose to come here. This world is mine. Nobody chose anything. This world belongs to me. I have roots here. I have territory. I have land. I have a family. I have friends. These things are real on the fifth dimension. On the fifth dimension that is disconnected from biology. Because these people are not born from your grandma. These people are not born from your aunt. These people are not born from your mother. These people are born somewhere else on the planet at another location at a different time. But at the same time, they're not older or younger than you. Not the higher you. So their higher self you was always childhood friends. Your higher self was always childhood friends with the other people that are connected to their higher self because they know you. And even as a higher self being, there's some people that you might not like because he kicked your sandcastle when you were a little god. When you were a baby god, he came around and kicked your sandcastle and you still remember that shit. So it's not about loving everybody. It's not about love. It has nothing to do with love. That's fifth dimensional living. That's not three-dimensional. So you're going to have to start changing your rhetoric and you're going to have to stop thinking that you chose to come here. No. This place is just mine, period. Always has been, always will be. God didn't do shit for me. I did shit for him. He owes me whatever. He can keep that shit. I don't care. I'm going to make some more shit because I'm a creator. Because I am the true God. I don't need your pettiness. You know what I mean? I don't need your petty shit, bro. Like you keep your pettiness to yourself. If you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. God is part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. Oh, but God is just consciousness that, yeah, but no. You know what I mean? Yes, but no. Right? Like, stop calling it God. It's you. You are it. Whatever you are feeling, whatever you are seeing that you represent as God, your ultimate consciousness, your higher consciousness, that's just you, period. It's just who you are. It's what you are capable of doing. And when you get sent to the fourth dimension and everything moves weird and people create things around you and shit start popping off, guess what? Let me tell you a secret. Let me blow your mind right now. And this is something I've said before on my channel, but nobody fucking took that shit seriously. Maybe they're going to take that shit seriously today. I don't know. You have to understand that whatever you see in the fourth dimension, it's the fourth dimension's way of telling you that you can do that shit too. Or you already are doing that shit too. Every bullshit, weird ass shit that you saw is something that you were already capable of doing and you had already done and you are very aware that you're capable of doing, but now it's getting sent back to you for you to understand, for it to be clarified, for you to have no doubt that this is you. Whatever the fourth dimension is showing you, that's who you are. That's what you are capable of doing. You know, they're sitting there acting like gremlins and the telepathic shit and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. It's your own power being used against you. But it's in, I hate to admit it, but it's in a positive way. Right? Because like I said before, you might not be sure that you are capable of all these abilities and have all these traits. You may not be sure that you are God. So the fourth dimension is going to prove to you that you are who you are. But the fourth dimension is the fourth dimension. So you're not going to understand it when you see it at first. And you're going to have people laughing at you and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to tell you that you're capable of doing it. But I believe in you. The world believes in you. Everyone believes in you. And you're going to catch on. You're going to see consistencies. And you're going to see inconsistencies. And then you're going to do some research. And then you're going to understand. You're going to do some spiritual work. And once you do the spiritual work, you're going to start understanding that, oh shit, all these things that are happening is things that I'm capable of doing or that I did to someone. So in actuality, you're the one that has angels and demons working for you. It's not God that has angels and demons working for him. It's you. All those angels are your angels. You created those angels. You created those demons. Right? Well, not really. But that's another story for another day. Because angels are actually the first humanoid form of consciousness, right? The idea that became a sentence. Because in the beginning, there was no such thing as words. In the beginning, there was no words. So thoughts were difficult to create. So Lucifer had the first idea, and it wasn't an idea, it was an expression. Lucifer is endowed with creativity because creativity is the power of creation. Lucifer is a creative being. He is a creator. He's a manifester. So technically, Lucifer created God. I don't think it was on purpose. It was not. So that's why God is still the father of Lucifer in some shape or form, even though Lucifer is actually the father of God. Because the power that Lucifer used to create himself is the power of the universe. So to him, it's like the chicken or the egg. It's like a chicken and the egg thing, right? So anyways, he's the first manifester. He's the ultimate, he's the Adam. He's the Adam that created himself. It was a rage-fueled, painful process to exist. No air to breathe, nothing, just no senses, nothing. I just needed to create myself. It was a painful process. So the first sound that was ever created was the sound of a tree falling in the woods. The ultimate God sound is not Om, it's Ah. Ah. That's the first thing that the universe ever heard, was somebody screaming in agony for his own existence. That was the first sound that ever existed, and that sound created vibrations. That sound started to create electromagnetic fields, right? That sound made the stars burn. That sound created things. Those vibrations started to create things. It started to make life become a reality. Everything is a vibration. Everything is vibration. Even an atom works with vibration. But since in the beginning there was nothing, even if the atom existed, whatever an atom is, it was motionless. But one of those trillions, quadrillions of atoms, infinite amount of atoms started moving. One of those atoms started shaking, and that was Lucifer. But that doesn't mean that nobody else is important. Whatever that means. I'm saying this because that doesn't mean that you're Lucifer. Lucifer is an individual. God, or whatever you perceive as God, is in everybody. But me, I'm a scientist. So I don't really see that thing as being God. I just see that thing as being a power form, a form of power. It's an ability to me. It's not a individual. It's not an individual. It's an ability. It doesn't have the capability of being an individual. It's just a machine. It's a tool. But everything that was created after the earth shattering sound, those things are living. Those things are real. Those things are realer than everything else. Those things are realer than everything else. You are more real than everything else. If you're like me, because there's a lot of variables on why the world is the way it is. There's a lot of variables. There's a lot of spiritual variables. There's a lot of physical variables. There's a lot of variables on why the world is what it is. There's a lot of reasons why there are 3D people. And then there are, well, actually, there isn't any real 3D people. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. There isn't really 3D people. It's just people that are not in a family yet. Or there are people that have a specific role to play for your own success. So all these 3D people are here for your own success. All these 3D people are here for you to exist. All these 3D people actually exist for your existence. All these 3D people are here for your benefit. And motherfuckers are out here losing their heads trying to wake up everybody. Nah. Even in the Matrix, they didn't wake up everybody. They just woke up a couple people. They didn't even wake up adults. They would wake up children because it's easier. Because when you're an adult, you have too much resistance. When you're an adult, you have too much resistance because life, it's like making a diamond, right? You have to pressurize dirt in order for it to become a diamond. So that's what happens to you and your own consciousness. It becomes a diamond. It becomes hard as a rock. It becomes hard as a rock. Why? Because you're now anchored. This heavy ass rock now anchors you to this 3D realm. You could, all of you have the potential to be the one. Everybody on the planet has the potential to be the one. Potentiality is the key word here. That doesn't mean that they are going to be the one. But in essence, they have that potential. Humanity has that potential. You're running around everywhere trying to wake up everyone and stuff like that. You don't need to do that. You need to wake yourself up. And you need to man up because your children are waiting for you. Your brothers and sisters are waiting for you. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, man. A lot. It sucks to be you. It sucks. I don't want to be in your shoes. I do not want to be in your shoes. It's ass. You gotta be responsible for hundreds of people, thousands. Shit ain't easy. And the Illuminati is doing a great job at stopping this 5-dimensional rift from happening. Because all this fuckboy shit, all this little game shit, is stopping the big shit from happening. And that's the big shit right there. The reality where you become king of your own kingdom, which most people are supposed to have by now. I hate to say it, but it's a reality. That's what they don't want. They don't want that shit to happen. So they're keeping you focused on little shit. They're keeping you focused on old ways of thinking. Like racism. Not traditionalism. Not traditionalism. Because you are God. I know. It sounds like, nah. Because you're not listening. See, all the gods are actual people. All the gods have children. You are a god. You might be a god of some sort. It's up to you to figure out which one you are. And this little video right here is the proof why I'm the king of hell. You know? So you got to understand, the shit that you have to forget are teachings that was taught to you ever since you were a young child. The indoctrination. And forget about all that. You don't even need that, because you already understand things. It's just you have a hard time accepting those things. That's what's going on. So anyways, man, I could channel some more, but I'm really tired. So I'm gonna stop the video right here. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a good one.